Welcome to Teyvat Historia, in the first episode of a new series I'm calling Genshin Rewind. In this series, I go back in time to patch versions long concluded to retell the stories of event quests for those of you who had not yet begun your journey through Teyvat, or for those of you who want to revisit those quests as the details are likely to have grown distant with time. Afterwards, I'll summarize some of the major takeaways and discuss if the story established any long-lasting story threads that continue to influence the story in the current day, as well as share my take on those details using the nearly 2 years of added story developments to see how or if it changes the way we perceive these easy-to-miss entries in Genshin Impact's story. With all that said, let's get started with Genshin Rewind, Unreconciled Stars. But first, I'm currently striving to reach the goal of 150,000 subscribers. So, whether you're new to the channel, or you've watched lots of my videos but haven't subscribed yet, please support what I do by subscribing and help me beat the YouTube algorithm and reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers by the end of 2022. The quest begins with the Traveler speaking to Catherine about a commission for the Adventurers Guild. Catherine explains that meteors have recently rained down all over Mondstadt and Liyue, and anybody who touches the meteorites falls into a deep sleep. Catherine continues to describe the problem as the senior Adventurers Guild member, also tasked with investigating the mystery, arrives.
Catherine, vassal of the Imanachai, do mine ears deceive me? Or didst thou cry out mine holy name in earnest supplication not one moment ago?
As Fischl introduces herself, the Traveler in Paimon can't help but be confused by her particular way of speaking. Catherine gets the conversation back on track, however, and directs the newly founded party to Springvale to begin their investigation at the camp outside of town, where several people have fallen victim to the sleep-inducing meteorites. On arrival, the team finds that the nun Edna had managed to briefly awaken one of the townspeople, who began to mutter something about having dreams of being atop a cold mountain before losing consciousness again. This effect is discovered not only in Springvale, but also throughout the other regions of Mondstadt and Liyue in areas where the meteorite fragments have been encountered. Using Fischl's vision, which is discovered to resonate with the fragments, the team tracks down and eliminates all nearby fragments, allowing victims in the surrounding area to awaken from their sleepy state. A service the group continues to render in both Mondstadt and Liyue until encountering a man who described himself only as a vagrant from Inazuma, who was inspecting the area around a man who had collapsed into a sleeping state after also coming into contact with one of the meteorites. After a brief conversation, the Moth arrive, prompting the Inazuman vagrant to take his leave. With no reason to consider the man's presence as unusual, the Traveler, Paimon, and Fischl resume cleaning up the meteorite fragments. During the course of the cleanup operation in Liyue, the Traveler encounters a party of Fatui who issue an ominous threat. A harbinger is nearby, promising an impending comeuppance for their interference in their affairs. It is at this time that Fischl concludes that this entire problem must be the result of a curse placed upon the mortal realm, and without the aid of one who is skilled in the undoing of curses, meteorite strikes would continue at a pace faster than the team can clean them up. With this need established, they head back to Mondstadt to inquire if Catherine can recommend any such adventurer. While not specifically able to cure curses, Catherine calls for the aid of astrologist Mona Magistus. Already acquainted with Mona, the Traveler and Paimon fill her in on recent events, while Fischl, in unclear terms, invites Mona to join the team.
I am Fischl von Luftschloss Nofedot, Prinzessin der Verirrtelang, and I hereby extend to you the great honor of joining my retinue.
Prinzessin der Verirrtelang? I'm sorry, which nation are you a princess of?
I hail from a distant and long-lost land known as the Imanachai.
The in my what, Reich?
All this results in a minor disagreement between the two, and Mona threatens to perform a reading of Fischl's personal history, but at the beseech of Oz, who knows the truth of Fischl's personality, this is avoided and the party departs. As it turns out, Mona was the perfect addition to the team, as she is able to cut to the source of the meteorites, revealing that they have come from someone's constellation, explaining that the stars which make up the night sky are in fact celestial bodies existing in deep space, yet somehow they've turned into meteors which fall from the sky. This all prompting Fischl to once again state her theory that the entire incident has been brought on by a curse. Mona, still a little slow on the uptake regarding Fischl's mental state, doesn't really catch her meaning.
A curse! A wretched curse, I say.
Sorry, I'm not quite following you. What curse and what killer?
Don't take every word she says too literally.
What's going on here? Why are the Traveler and Paimon frantically winking at me? Oh, I understand.
Despite this, with Mona's aid, the party eliminates a much larger amount of the meteorites than expected, making a significant impact on the issue at hand. All the while, Mona has been trying to make heads or tails of the fallen constellation, including that the next natural step would be to find out who this constellation belonged to. Using the evidence found so far, Mona determines that the mountain seen in the dreams of the sleepers cannot be Dragonspine, as the mountain would be too easily identifiable to the sleepers. So it is determined that the group must question newly awakened sleepers in an effort to find out what they remember, in hopes that that new information will help to clarify who may be responsible for the falling meteors. Mona eventually discovers that the meteorites are born from the constellation of a man named Leonard. But while discussing who this individual may have actually been, the vagrant from Inazuma they met in Liyue a few days earlier stumbles upon them.
Hi! Sounds interesting. Mind if I join you?
What ho! We meet again, vagrant of Inazuma. My retinue and I were just...
The first time the Millelith were present, I had to forego the chance to strike down Mondstadt's savior. This time was a perfect moment. I was mere seconds away. But who was that mage? She could not have known who I am. Perhaps her powers revealed to her things unseen. Soldiers! Sir! Find them, and when you do... Another one?
My lord! It's happening again. This is the largest one we've seen so far.
They just keep coming. But so be it. Move out. Change of plan. Your prior objective remains in force. Continue to research the meteorites.
My lord, leave them to us. We will make short work of them.
Are you deaf or just stupid? When did I give you the right to issue your own orders?
My apologies, my lord.
Now move out and complete your objectives as assigned.
With Mona having seen through Scaramouche's intent, the Traveler and the companions are safe for the moment and discuss the importance of their close call and what the Fatui's involvement in all of this might mean. But Mona suggests that the crew search for answers at the site of the newly fallen largest meteorite to have fallen throughout the entire crisis. The newly fallen meteorite does reveal that Leonard may have been associated with the Adventurers Guild, a fact which, after a bit of searching, leads to the discovery of a book written by Leonard himself. However, due to the badly degraded state of the book, it was largely illegible, but Mona uses her skills to restore the text, revealing that Leonard was an adventurer who lived more than 2,000 years ago. His lifetime dream was to climb one of the tallest mountains of the region at the time, known as Pylos Peak. Immediately, they all recognized that this must be the same mountain that the sleepers had been dreaming of, but the mountain somehow no longer seems to exist in maps of the current day. Eventually, Mona concludes that the mountain hasn't disappeared, but is now the location known as Musk Reef. There, Mona suspects will rest the core of the meteorite fragment, which if eliminated, should finally bring resolution to the meteorite crisis for good. At Pylos Peak, Mona, Paimon, and the Traveler find that Scaramouche had gotten there first, and has interacted with the core fragment. But everyone is shocked when realizing he was able to awaken himself at will from the core meteorite's slumber. Also surprisingly, rather than attacking, as would have been intuitive and in line with his previous goals, the Harbinger shares what he learned during his encounter.
The stars, the sky, it's all a gigantic hoax. A lie.
The stars are a lie. What are you talking about?
The balladeer departs hastily after this to, as he says, find the truth, leaving Mona, Paimon, and the Traveler to try and decode his meaning. The team, now alone with the core fragment, are able to determine that it is actually an immense vessel of human desire. However, determined to bring the resolution to the crisis at last, they destroy the core fragment and release Leonard's desire back into the world. An act which reveals the complete nature of Leonard's desire, bringing an end to the mystery of the meteorites.
With ropes, we can scale mountains. With boats, we can sail the seas. By age 40, I had conquered every last domain. Pylos Peak alone defeated me. As an adventurer, and well, maybe in other ways too. Now, I am approaching the end of my life. Many times I have sat and stared up at that peak as the boundless snow slowly engulfed me. It is a beast without weakness, the merciless face of the world. It fills me with fear. And when an adventurer loses courage, they can no longer climb mountains. My mountaineering days may be over, but I have a greater ambition now. Humans create tools to conquer nature, and when nature conquers them in return, they create better tools. Where our legs cannot take us, maybe our tools can. And when tools fail us, perhaps wings can carry us instead. My dear friend, I leave you my designs for the wings of incompletion. Against the unknown, humanity stands as one. To be alive is to seek, to set foot in every place that the eye can see. I have little time remaining, though the wind has not yet come for my soul. But between us and your children, students, and friends, I believe that someone will reach that place at last.
Throughout the questline of Unreconciled Stars, quite a few interesting threads were established. The overall crisis was caused by Leonard's unfulfilled will to ascend to the peak of Pylos, surviving for more than 2,000 years, trapped within his constellation in the skies above Teyvat. This was not done maliciously by Leonard, as his determination to climb that peak led him to also produce the first prototype wind glider, giving rise to the gliders now used by many throughout all of Teyvat, helping ensure that other adventurers would never again be limited to the same confines of passable terrain again. Overall, this questline was really our first hint that everything may not be what it seems in Teyvat, as Scaramouche revealed to us the now well-known line, "The sky is a lie." Mona explains that during her astrological training, she was taught to speak of the so-called false sky, but never did she consider that it would have had any meaning in the literal sense. A fact that causes her to question her perception of the stars as she thought she knew them, and a thread which has still not been resolved today. In fact, Mona has not made another appearance in the story since this event, but we can be sure when she does return that she will likely bring knowledge of her advancements regarding her understanding of the concept of the false sky, possibly combining that knowledge with what our traveler has learned journeying throughout Enconomia, the Chasm, and any potential future encounters with Scaramouche, who seemed invested in learning more about this mystery as well. At that time, we may ourselves finally begin to understand the great lie of the heavens. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you are notified when my next video goes live. And if you want to see more, check out one of these other videos. Thanks for watching Teyvat Historia. May the Seven guide you, travelers.